Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing very well today and you're ready to start your day with Shahzad Khan and Maha Mukhtoom. Assalamu alaikum Shahzad, how are you? He's good. Shahzad's actually lost his voice a little bit. He can talk a little bit, but it's sat down.
Yeah, it's a bit better now, and thank you very much for being very considerate and saying that you will probably take half of the burden or majority of it as well.
I'm going to try my best.
Yeah, and we definitely hope that everybody out there is superb as well, ladies and gentlemen, because today we have got something very special over here in the house for you.
Absolutely. But hats off to you and pat on the back for
Thank
once.
you very
I will
much.
actually finally give you that pat on the back for making it here today. But we do have a wonderful show lined up for you to give you a lot of information on what's happening within the economic world, within Pakistan and abroad, and how people are helping the country. But before we do that, let's start with our top stories. Okay, the meeting of religious scholars and leaders calls for constitution of a committee to amicably resolve Islamabad sit-in issue and fix responsibility on the people involved in changes in the law on the finality of prophethood.
A joint air show of Pakistan Air Force and Chinese Air Force was held at PAF base Samungli, Quetta. PAF's F-7 PG and Chinese Air Force's SJ-10 displayed aerobic skills to the participants of the air show.
Let me take over.
Yeah.
And China has renewed its commitment to work with Pakistan to ensure the success of the China-Pakistan economic corridor. And Myanmar has kicked off the Asia-Europe foreign ministers meeting with the Rohingya crisis high on the agenda. I should hope so. I wonder what she has to say about that. And next, finally, Karachi Whites defeated Islamabad by 19 runs in the 19th match of the National T20 Cup at Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium. Congratulations to the Karachi Whites. And bad luck to Islamabad.
It's all right.
But it's great that the cricket's going on and there's things for people to do and, there's lots of stuff happening.
And, when we have domestic cricket happening, that definitely tells us that we do have quite a lot of talent, and that's how we select them.
Exactly.
So selectors might be keeping an eye on to everybody who's actually participating right now, so give it your best.
And exactly, and it'll get harder and harder not to be on the team based on not having merit
Exactly.
and disability.
And right now, I think it's about time that we move on towards our public service message.
Yes. Okay, so the public service message is to do with the weather as well. And as we've got a living example sitting in front of us, that it is getting colder, but the sun is out at times, so you may get confused on how to dress. Even I could feel it, I could feel it in my chest as well. So yesterday I made sure I wore a massive scarf around my neck. So please do dress weather appropriate because there are a lot of viruses and flus going around right now. And I actually realized I don't want to catch anything. So be careful, dress well, and especially for the kids out there going to school, a lot of germs flying around. So try and be as hygienic as possible and wrapped up warm.
Exactly. So I think now it's about time that we get started with our show as well.
Yes.
And Maha, the best part is that the amount of force I have to put in, after a while, I think that, I'm going to go breathless too as well. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, globally, wherever Pakistanis are, wherever they are settled, they've always made sure that they've made Pakistan proud, or they do have the sentiment that they do want to come back or do something amazing for Pakistan.
And that's a very unique feeling that people actually just want to contribute to the progress and the development of the nation. And that, I think that gives a lot of people maybe that comfort level that maybe they don't need to do as much, but we all need to be involved. We all need to be aware of what's happening within our country so that we have a say with what direction it goes in. And that means that if we have if we understand what's happening in the economy with business, with, all of these things, then that means that we have more knowledge to know what benefits or disadvantages we'll be facing.
Exactly, very well said. And Maha, wherever there are Pakistanis, for example, there's this sentiment over in Pakistan back in 1980s and 1990s that when you started to grow up, people always wanted to fly abroad or probably live over there so that they can open up more avenues of exposure. So what happens is that, for example, if a Pakistani left 20 years ago from Pakistan and he's based in USA or England, they have their own startups and they are pretty successful too as well.
Exactly.
And that's why we have been joined by somebody whose brainchild is Made in Pakistan, Expo London 2018, which is actually going to happen or take place in 2018.
Exactly.
And it is going to revolve around 4 sectors as well.
And we're going to talk about everything, and it's using the platform of the UK PCCI, which is the UK Pakistan Chamber of Commerce Industry, and it is about promoting Made in Pakistan. But let's find out what it's all about. And we've been very lucky. We've been joined by the founder and chairman of this expo and of this brand. We've been joined by Jahanzeb Anis. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us today and taking the time out. So actually, let's start from the basic, because I mean, I wasn't even aware of it. I don't know if you were as well.
Yeah.
Maybe you probably were because you're in business as well. But what is a UK PCCI?
So UK PCCI is basically UK Pakistan Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I think it was launched in 1979. So it's a pretty old organization led by some prominent business people in the UK, Pakistani business people in the UK. We are now the new board appointed just last August, so very much a young board. And the main purpose of UK PCCI is to promote bilateral trade between UK and Pakistan. So all those businesses who are settled here and in the UK, we promote cross-border trade between the two countries.
So what are the current figures of import and exports?
I think between UK and Pakistan, it's roughly about 1.8 billion. Whereas 1.1 and 1.2 billion is around imports and exports, and 600-700 million is imports.
Okay,
So
wonderful.
we are in a trade deficit with UK, I think.
No, UK and in fact EU is one of those countries where Pakistan share trade surplus. And that is the purpose of this, because one thing I want to add, EU has granted GSP plus status to Pakistan. GSP plus means that essentially 78 to 80% of your exports enter EU on a preferential rates.
Excellent. So I've been learning a lot of stuff here. So now, moving on then, you're the founder and so I'm the chairman. So how did you decide to come up with Made in Pakistan, and why did you decide to use this platform to start it?
Yeah, so in terms of the platform, because I am one of the directors and company secretary of UK Pakistan Chamber of Commerce, it was the first choice for me to launch this concept. But before we go into the concept, why we came up with the idea, every country has some fundamentals when you look at the economy and the financial health of the country. For example, exports. As every developing country is exports-led economies. India, Bangladesh, for example, China, they're not developing, but still export-led economies. We in Pakistan are at a lowest level of exports all time.
Oh,
It's
really?
roughly around 18 billion, the lowest level. Then look at the imports of the country. They are on the all-time high, which means there's a huge gap between your exports and imports, which means you are paying a lot of dollars out of the country.
Okay.
2.5 times at the moment your imports are compared to your exports, which is quite dangerous.
Okay, so our imports are higher than our
Your imports are way higher, 2.5 times higher than your exports.
Right, got it.
Yes. Similarly, your foreign reserves, because obviously you're buying more from the Western world, you need to pay in dollars, which means your foreign reserves have a lot of pressure. Your external debt of the country is staggering, I think, $80 billion at the moment. So in all of these things, you have to pay a lot of dollars out of the country.
Okay, so now, before we launch into the types of products and things that we're promoting and how we're going to ease this, what impact does this have socially, having more imports and exports and going further into debt? So not on a political, not on that business, but on a more individual social level, like how is it going to affect us?
We personally believe that with a consumer market of 200 million, Pakistan is 4th or 5th most populous country in the world.
5th, yeah.
5th most populous country. We believe that there's nothing wrong in importing products and use imported products. But I think being 200 million population consumer market, we should start to use local products or at least encourage local products so that we can, because we don't, countries like Pakistan, we don't need a lot of help from other people if the local people start to mobilize their economy. It's a huge market. So we believe that there should be a mixture of both. But at the moment, we see more people inclined towards imported products rather than the local made.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that that's a great initiative, but other than that, there's quite a lot of research which goes down into it as well.
Absolutely.
Now, for example, even if this expo is going to take place, you are obviously going to invite vendors onto wherever this expo is going to take place in London. But other than that, what do you think people actually require over there? This market research or surveys are very important, because otherwise there's no use of people going over there where there's no use of the products they're taking with them.
Can I ask that? Oh, okay.
Absolutely. One thing which we are organizing as part of the expo, this is not just an expo where people will come, exhibit the products and go. We are providing end-to-end support, including market research, including marketing, how you should market your product in the Western world, including packaging, for example, because, you know, retail space is very, very important and very, very pricey. So they don't want to store products which has not retail-friendly packaging, for example. So we are in a process of setting up all these teams based on the sectors where we can then guide people from Pakistan that this is how you exhibit, these are the licenses you need, for example.
Okay.
So these are the helps which we are planning to.
And we'll get into that in more detail in a moment. But okay, so you've told us the concept behind it and
Yes.
why a need for Made in Pakistan was there, because of the way the economy with trading these days, the way the culture is, the behaviors. But now, tell us more about Made in Pakistan and the actual expo and the different, because you mentioned there's 4 components
Yes.
of it as well. So let's slowly start with that.
Yes. So the whole concept was conceived when we look at the export situation and when we speak to exporters associations here and the problems they have. So the whole concept of Made in Pakistan Expo was conceived at that point. There are lots of expos around the world, but what make us different is Made in Pakistan. It is only Made in Pakistan products. So 4 components of the expo is, one is the expo, general expo. Every product and service sector from Pakistan is welcome. So it's not
For example,
specifically-
that can be IT, that can be...
Absolutely. IT is one of the sector we are focusing, because textile obviously is the dominant sector, but we would like to encourage all the other sectors. For example, gemstones, IT is obviously being a service sector, and lots of any other sector basically. This is the expo where we are trying to bring not only buyers and merchandisers from the Western world, but the policymakers and decision makers.
Okay, great.
And why is that? Because if the policy of a company or a country is not to buy from a particular country, then buyers would not be able to buy. So we need to start from the top, that why you're not buying from Pakistan. If we have the best products at the best prices, then what is the, why you're not buying basically.
Okay.
So
That's
this is
the first component.
exactly, that's the first component, to have the policy of buying from Pakistan.
Right, okay.
So in this expo, we are hoping to engage 50 to more than actually 60 British Chamber of Commerce's and more than 1,500 to 1,700 European, because this is the location of the expo is London, but we are looking at Europe-wide.
Okay,
So
excellent.
more than 1,700 chambers representing 20 million businesses across Europe will be hopefully participating in the
Wonderful.
expo.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, now, before we move on to the other components of it, how did you so this, this concept that you want 1,700, also from Europe and everywhere.
Yes.
How are you reaching out to them? How are you making it more appealing to them as well? Because I think people might
Yes.
have reservations, or have they been very open to it?
No, absolutely. There are lots of reservations. And what we are trying to do is to launch this in Pakistan first, start to get the interest. Then we will profile companies according to the sector. We will publish sector-specific booklets.
Okay.
We will share those with company profiles, exhibitors' profile with those chambers. We will start the open dialogues with them. It is a long effort to bring them to the expo.
And
but
was
we are
it going to
determined.
happen in 2018, by the way? When are you guys planning to have it?
It's late 2018. At the moment, it's end of November, but we are flexible with the dates. We are, again, this expo is not that this is the product you have to come and exhibit your product. We are very much looking to set up a forum where we can work with exhibitors from Pakistan to decide which month is best for them, how we can do this in a best way to.
But I think it's going to be cold in November in England, though.
It is.
It
That's what
is.
most of the people are saying.
And
that
they'll
November is
also
not the
enjoy it there. People from Pakistan enjoy that as well. But
Yes.
that leads us on to our next point, which we will discuss after a short break, guys. So we are discussing Made in Pakistan, the expo, which will be happening next year in England, but to promote Pakistani products and businesses in Europe. So let's go take a short break, and when you come back, we'll continue the conversation.
I'm focusing on sign language now.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد يا مسلمين صلوا عليه.
I have earned the respect of society because she taught me the meaning of respect.
My children know the difference between right and wrong because I was taught to differentiate.
I am successful in my career today because her prayers never left my side.
My friends trust me with their feelings, for she taught me the value of trust.
When I leave home every day and return in evening, all worries and stress seems to disappear as I enter her loving embrace. She is the reason I am able to fight the good fight every day. And she is the reason why all of it becomes worthwhile.
She is my mother, my daughter,
My wife and my sister. She is the beautiful, responsible and progressive essence of our country.
I am the woman of Pakistan, the essence of its purity.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PTYU Watching World this morning alongside Maha Makhdoom and
Yes.
Shahzad Khan. And I'm not really very
He's
well,
not
though.
well, but I'm not laughing that he's not well. I'm laughing because he's still being really funny, and he makes me laugh just before we come on air. So
Exactly, and we have been in conversation with Mr. Jahangir Anis, who is the
Jahazib.
chairman, Jahazib Anis, or Jahan Anis, who's actually the founder and the chairman of Made in Pakistan London Expo 2018, which is supposed to be held in November in London, and it's going to be very cold.
Which is, and that date is to TBC, to
Yes,
be confirmed.
that's to be
Okay, so now where we left off was that it was about getting the businesses and getting them on that European platform.
Yes.
And highlighting and showing Europe as well that they should be trading here if they're not having trade in Pakistan. But now let's move on to how you talked about the all the tools and services you would provide. But now let's talk about the businesses within Pakistan, because Shahzad made a very good point that finding relevant businesses, also the right ones, and the ones that are maybe not so mainstream and maybe people that are less privileged, how are you going to find the actual products and the people and ensure that kind of quality control that if they are successful at this expo, that they maintain that level?
Yes. So first of all, one thing which I would like to add is that EU is your biggest trading partner. So around 18 to 20% of total exports from Pakistan goes to EU. Right. So the market is already established. We just need to now continue with that trend and expand it. Secondly, in terms of the quality control, we are very keen to work with SMEs as well here. So obviously blue chip companies have got all the licenses and quality control assurances in place, but the whole concept of Expo is obviously to work with blue chips, but to work with SME sector as well. SME for any economy is the backbone for any economy.
Exactly, that's what it is.
And
but there's one more very important thing which I wanted to ask, and that is that, well, why do we have a thumbprint over here on top of it?
This is a lot of thought has gone into this thumbprint. And the thumbprint basically is your identity. So this is your identity. When you get to the airport, so anyway, this is the thumbprint this is your identity.
So whose thumbprint is this, by the way?
This is Made in Pakistan thumbprint, and we want to bring this thumbprint back on the trading map of the world.
Wow.
That is the concept, that Made in Pakistan product needs to be everywhere.
And it's not just the thumbprint that you did. I saw something else in this booklet. The culture of the count of Pakistan, Punjab. And then it's got one for each province. Like you have the map of the province and the different things that you
And
get
the
in the province.
products they have,
And then you have one for the cult of Pakistan Pakhtun over here. Oh, sorry, I'm hitting the mic.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, you can hold it.
Yeah,
and then if
and
you
you
move
can
on,
speak.
then the next one.
And then the next one is from Balochistan. And then the next one is from
It's very
Kashmir
informative
as well. So you have been very inclusive, and your research is great.
Yes, because this is not only around business. It's not just Made in Pakistan business. We want to revive Made in Pakistan or Pakistan, the whole culture, the people. We were working on a project to bring tourism back to the country with some counterparts back in the UK, so that people can come here and see and visualize themselves, rather than obviously being media and all sorts of those things. People over there think that Pakistan is a dangerous country, whereas we don't believe that.
Okay, but before we...
yes.
We don't believe it because it's not.
Yes, it's not. It's not actually, yes.
Yeah.
So before we forget, what are the rest of the three components?
Yes.
Okay, so one is Expo, where exhibitors will come in and exhibit the products. The other one is Symposium.
Yes.
So where we are organizing B2B really, so B2B means business to business meetings, where industry experts from Pakistan can come and talk to industry experts in the UK. So they can understand that if the products are very good, if the prices are very good, what is the problem? Why people are not buying, for example. For example, leather exporters said to us that, people are not buying, UK and Europe are not buying from Pakistan. So we just want to open
they used
those,
to though, by the way.
Exactly. We want to open that dialogue, that why, even if they don't place an order, at least people in Pakistan can understand why people are not buying. And also it will help them to have one-to-one relationship with the right people in the UK.
Okay.
So for the future, they will benefit
So,
obviously.
just one more question. Before, Shahzad has asked his, but how are the small to medium enterprises or businesses get involved? Because how are they meant to afford all of this?
Yes, in terms of affordability, we are hoping that TDAP, Trade Development Authority of Pakistan, I mean, it's not final yet, but we are hoping to talk to them to subsidize local businesses to come to UK in this expo. And by the way, they do that.
Oh, yeah,
So
they do?
it's
Okay,
not,
great.
yes, it's not that we are proposing something out of new.
Yeah.
They do that. They have the budget and they do subsidize
Yeah,
people
because this is
to
in
visit.
pounds. I looked at the bag. I thought it was in
Absolutely.
rupees. I was like, this is affordable. And I saw the
It's-
pound
That's
sign.
where
I
I
was
was
like,
coming. How do you think that the exchange rate's actually going to help the Pakistani investor? Because we have seen the pound falling down a bit as well.
It will. I mean, unfortunately, again, most South Asian countries devalued or depreciate against dollar in the last 5 years. For some reason, Pakistani rupee chose to maintain that level. I think exporters will benefit a lot if we can leave the currency for free float, so that at least, because if you maintain your currency against dollar, it makes your exports very expensive, which means people will then prefer to buy from the neighboring countries rather than Pakistan.
Yeah.
ah, okay.
Yes,
what I
because
was
it will
saying,
make your product more expensive for the Western world to buy.
I understand that
Yes.
now. Okay.
So this is, we believe that the currency should be to some extent depreciate against dollar to export, to help exporters.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, so that's
So
the
just those. So one is symposium. So
Yep.
one is expo. The
Expo,
second one is
symposium.
symposium. The third
That
one
is-
is Made in Pakistan Business Tower. So this is a very unique option we have.
Made in
And
Pakistan?
Business Tower, the
Tower.
physical tower.
Okay.
And everyone we've spoken to so far have actually liked this third bit more than anything else. This is the physical tower, like Debenham store, for example. We will provide merchandise space to Pakistani products and a bonded warehouse. So the concept is that the trust deficit is that when a sample comes in the UK, it's very, very good, and the product is not as good as the
Yes.
sample, for example. So we will provide a Made in Pakistan space to merchandise, for example, a leather jacket. So it will be merchandised on the display. People can come, check the quality, and we will have lots of units stored in the warehouse. And bonded means that you won't pay any duty or taxes until you sell the item.
All right.
That's the bonded warehouse.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to get into the third and the fourth component in a bit more depth.
But
now,
right now, we've got a trailer to share from a documentary, and the name is Something Ventured.
Yes.
Wow, that was loud.
You have to be a street fighter.
We didn't know what we were doing.
Silicon Valley, technical breakthrough.
$100,000.
$1 million.
$10 billion.
Intel,
Apple.
Genentech,
Cisco.
Good markets,
Great companies.
growing companies.
Sky's the limit.
The rest is history.
The company was started with $250, and so we never had any money. You have to be brave.
These are very fragile companies with a lot of things missing.
Any new business seldom does what's written in the business plan.
The risks were just enormous.
You could walk down the street in 1976 and talk to 100 people and say, would you like a personal computer? And they go, well, what's that?
Jobs and Wozniak came up to see me, and they were very unappealing.
They were bearded, they didn't smell good, they dressed funny. But Woz had designed a really wonderful computer.
I was convinced it was a big market just embryonically beginning.
And when you see it, you know it. That just goes right through your bones.
At the time we started Genentech, there was no such thing as genetic engineering. I said, what if God or Darwin won't let us make a new life form? But we had our breakthrough.
It was a new idea, but it was a good one.
If they hadn't stayed together, probably there'd be no silicon in Silicon Valley.
Well, isn't it great if you can make money and change the world for the better at the same time?
So that was Something Ventured, and it's about businesses and investing. And as you could see, it was about people who had been approached by Steve Jobs, before Apple was even started. So it's amazing. You should definitely check these documentaries out.
And then whenever you have your own startups, there are quite a lot of risk related to that as well. But that's not what we want to talk about. We want to talk about the fourth component of Made in Pakistan. So the first one was the expo itself. The second one was symposium, and then there was the physical tower.
Yes.
Now moving on towards the fourth one.
So the fourth component is business awards, business achievement awards. We believe that local businesses have achieved a lot, and a lot of companies are actually exporting very good products, and there should be an international platform to basically recognize them. And again, this will be delivered in a whole marketing style where we will be inviting all the right decision makers and buyers. We will be displaying 30 seconds and 20-second promotional videos for those companies, and then we will give those awards to them. But that is only for participating chambers. So we are talking to chambers and export associations. Whoever wants to participate, then we will, because otherwise there will be too many businesses.
Okay, but the thing is, this is when I hear about these awards, what is the point of giving these awards? Like,
It's
does
just
it give people incentive?
recognition. I mean, award means that there is international recognition for them. So people can realize that someone has got the award, they will do some research, they will look at their products, services, and hopefully they will start to explore more about the company.
So how many chambers are in, for example, partnership with the UK chamber as well, the UK Pakistan chamber?
So UK Pakistan chamber is an autonomous body, so there is no partnerships with other
No,
chambers.
for the Made in Pakistan London thing or the awards thing.
So Made in Pakistan, we have just launched. So this trip, when we came to Pakistan, is just for just to understand if there is an appetite in the market. We have a very good response from FPCCI, which is the Federation of Pakistani Chamber of Commerces. We met Lahore Chamber, Karachi Chamber, Islamabad Chamber. We are meeting Sialkot Chamber tomorrow. We have a lot of response for these type of events. So we believe that there is an appetite in the country. So we'll go back now and we will officially launch the expo, hopefully in December or early January.
And before we further move on, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a trailer from one of the films back in 1970s, and it's all about businesses too. Once again, go ahead, check out the trailer. When you guys are going to come back, we'll still be in conversation with Mr. Jahangir Anis.
We might have traded places.
I know what you're thinking. You see Porgy and Bess? We can make it, baby. Me and you.
Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy are trading places.
Help! Help! Hey, I don't want your bag, man. Help! 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 Help!
I'll bet that man could run our company as well as your young Winthorpe.
Are we talking about a wager, Randolph?
Is there a problem, officers?
Oh, Winthorpe. I'm glad your parents are not alive to see this.
What? No, wait! Now, this is totally preposterous. I'm not a thief.
Here we are. William, take off your clothes.
You are making a career decision here.
Take off your clothes.
Did you hear what this man said to me? Now, I have witnesses. This man is physically threatening me.
Hey, Randy, Monte, this is nice. I like this.
We are commodities brokers, William. Commodities are agricultural products, like wheat, which is used to make bread, pork bellies, which is used to make bacon, which you might find in a bacon and lettuce and tomato sandwich.
I'm considering going long on April wheat. What do you think, Valentine?
Freeze, slimeball!
Moi?
Put that gun away at once, Winthorpe. You lost your mind?
Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy. They're not just getting rich, they're getting even.
Do you have any better ideas?
Yeah, you know, it occurs to me that the best way you hurt rich people is by turning them into poor people.
Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy. Ralph Bellamy.
We've got to get Wilson and tell him to sell!
Don Amici.
Randolph, this isn't monopoly money we're playing with.
Denham Elliott.
What a scumbag.
And Jamie Lee Curtis.
By the way, food and rent, not the only things around here that cost money. You sleep on the couch.
So that is Trading Places. It was a classic film. You should definitely check it out. And Dan Aykroyd is one of my favorites. You know, Ghostbusters, all the best films.
And it was from 1983, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Correction.
Yeah. So now we've talked about all the four components, and we've talked about the positive angles of what it means for Pakistan, and also what it could mean for, you know, the economies over here and over there. But now, before we wrap up the show as well, but what are the potential risks involved with doing something like this?
So obviously, one of the major risks when you organize something where exhibitors needs to come from overseas, in particular from Pakistan and these countries, the biggest risk from our point of view is the visa situation. So we are hoping to form a committee with High Commission of Pakistan to get some clearance, pre-clearance from UK Home Office. So we have a checklist. So every business who wants to come and exhibit goes through the same process. In the past, it happened that all those Pakistani-related exhibitions in the UK had very large portion of visa application got rejected.
Yeah.
And that was one of the risks from our side. The second risk from the exhibitor's point of view is if we are unable to deliver. And therefore, we are forming committees using local people from the sectors, from, for example, Federation of Pakistani Chamber of Commerce, presidents of the local chambers, where we can work on a monthly basis, so we can show the progress we're making, and it's a very, very transparent process. So what we promise, we deliver. That's the main thing.
Very nice. And since we all know that, you know, it's happening for the very first time over there as well, and we cannot be very sure of how things might be, but we can all say is that we're going to pray that it turns out very amazing as well. But do you think that then in years to come, every year such expos will be taking place?
Well, how regularly do you work?
Absolutely. That's once a year program. This is the first one. We're working really, really hard to make this happen. We need a lot of support from businesses from here, from the chambers from here, government departments, including FPCCI and TDAP here. It's a joint effort. This is to revive Pakistan, made in Pakistan, or the whole Pakistani image, softer image in the Western world.
Amazing that is. And if there are any other people or brands or there's somebody whom you want to thank, go ahead, look straight into the camera and thank them.
Well, I would like to thank all those people who we met throughout. We were in Pakistan, including FPCCI. We met Ishtiyaq Baig Saab. He was very, very supportive. We are hoping to meet TDAP. We met Trade Minister Pervez Malik Saab. He was very helpful. We met Lahore Chamber, Karachi Chamber, Islamabad Chamber. So all of those guys who are helping us, I'm extremely helpful, extremely thankful to them, and I look forward to continued support from them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure to find out what you've been doing for Pakistan and for Pakistanis in the world. So thank you so much for your time. And guys, if you want any information on this, this is something that could be really, really positive. If you're into business or if you have people that may be interested, you can get all the information for Made in Pakistan, which will be happening next year on our Facebook fan page.
Which is with the name of World This Morning.
Our Twitter page.
World This Morning without a G.
Our Daily Mission YouTube page.
World This Morning.
The repeat is at
11 p.m.
Have a wonderful day, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Till the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good
morning. Thank you very much.